we'll see what happens. All right, still scheduling. And we're live. All right, so welcome everyone to our October Paper Pumpkin. This is our Zoom. I am streaming it to Facebook Live, so our class here. And this is a cute kit. Got Christy on the Zoom with me, and we're talking how there's a lot of flowers, a lot of elements in this kit. So it's exciting, and I've got some fun alternate samples for you guys. So I think you'll be excited. Yeah. So the kit is called Joy to the World, but the premise behind it is they've included, Stampin' Up! Has included sentiments in both English, French, and German. So you get the words peace, joy, and love in all three languages. And I love that they actually gave us a little key because while I recognize some of the French sentiments, I do not speak any German. So I was glad that they had that in there. But yeah, so many elements. So you've got your normal, your dots and your dimensionals. This month comes with Just Jade ink. I do have my Just Jade ink pad, so that's what I'll be using tonight if you see me doing that. But it's awesome that we get an in-color ink spot. This is one of the newest colors that just came out this year, which is exciting. We've got a pretty stamp set with the wreaths. I love the little flower image and just some nice sentiments like to you and yours, bits of words that we can even like cut apart and make different phrases out of. Some cherry cobbler twine, lots of gold foil words and labels. So these are the, again, the peace, joy, and love in all three languages. And I saw somebody, another demonstrator actually had a cute trick that if you're not necessarily going to use the words in perhaps French or German, you can actually cut the letters apart to form words like friend or other expressions that you might use more often in English. And then in here, we've also got, this is to make 8 cards. So we had 8 of the vertical note cards with the gold foil, and then 8 of the horizontal. So you get 4 of each. And then we also get a whole bunch of these strips. These are the die cuts. They've got the flowers and the wreaths. You get a whole bunch of those, so I was excited about that. There's a sheet of die cuts in here for stamping your words. And then we've got, again, 4 and 4. We've got 4 of this cable knit embossed vertical piece. And then we've got 4 of the, they're not quite square. They're actually 3 by 3 3/4. But it's nice that we have those too. And then if you really want to get into it, the inside of the envelopes has this pretty cherry cobbler pattern. And you may have seen online, some people are actually disassembling the envelopes and using this as designer paper on your card. So that's another way to stretch it. If you want to add in some additional envelopes, you could cut these apart. I will note on this though that this kit is designed with more of an international flair, and in some areas they use different size cards. So in the US we use what's called, I believe it's A2, and our dimensions are usually 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. These particular cards are a little bit longer than normal. So these are actually, I'm gonna measure it here. These are actually 4 by 6. So if you do cut the envelopes apart that come with the kit, just know that these cards will not fit, and regular, you would have to trim part of that to fit them in other envelopes. So I just thought I'd warn people before you take these apart that these are a little bit bigger than our usual cards here in the US. Okay, so now we've got all of our elements all over the place. I'm going to flip the camera here and we'll get started with creating. So I've got a little bit of a mess I've got here. And I will say, if you're not into the holidays, so in particular, I don't do Christmas. So some of those sentiments aren't really something that I would use. Even if you're doing paper pumpkin and you love the simplicity of it, sometimes it's nice to have just a generic, like all-purpose stamp set. So I've pulled in Peaceful Moments. I love this set because it has everything from congratulations, it's got sympathy, it's got thank you, it's got friends. It's kind of got something for all occasions. And that's kind of nice just to kind of have on your stamp shelf to stretch your kits just a little bit further. So Peaceful Moments, or another one that I like is Borders Abound, because it has the thank you, best wishes, hello, love, and for you. So those are two sets that I might recommend if you want to stretch your kits a little bit further. Okay, so let me flip this around and we'll go ahead and get started here. Okay, so can you guys see, is that enough light? I'm not sure if I can actually add any more, but does that look okay to you, Christy? Looks good?
Yeah,
okay.
Looks good.
Maybe a little crooked? Let's go this way.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yep.
So now it's a little bit straighter. Okay. All right, and looks like, oh, we got a couple comments on the, oh,
Yeah,
there we go. Oh, I don't want to, so now it's a little bit straighter. All right, somehow I'm getting playback from my, from the live. I was checking it to see the comments. Straighter. All right, hang on here. I have a technical issue. I wanted to check the comments, but I didn't want it to actually talk to me. All right, so Stacy is on live. Stop, don't speak. All right, so hi Gladys, hi Rachel, hi Luann. We've got Cheryl or Sharon, and I saw Stacy on there too. Okay, so we got quite a few people watching on the Facebook as opposed to Zoom, so that's all right. Glad to have you guys there. Okay, so let's get started. We'll make the cards, two of the cards as directed, and then we're gonna kind of break away from that and just have fun with it. Okay, so the first card is, this is the horizontal card with the stripes going this way. We'll go ahead and fold that in half. So this is going to be horizontal. And then on this one, we'll also need one of the smaller pieces of the cable knit embossing. I know the camera doesn't really pick that up, but it's kind of neat. It reminds me, we did have a cable knit embossing folder a few years ago, which was kind of neat. And I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess I'm going to put it the longer side up like this. Okay, so we've got that. So you can go ahead. We're going to glue this down. Get my seal working here. Okay, and if you have any questions for me, Christy, because I can actually hear you, so
okay,
so feel free to ask or make comments as we go along. Christy is my Zoom assistant here, so that I'm not totally talking to myself.
I put the Stampin' Seal together this time, so we'll see if it gets to work.
Christy had Stampin' Seal issues, and lesson she learned is do not cut the tape. If it starts to goop on you, do not cut it. You can actually take it apart and you can roll the little mechanism in here, and that helps. But if you truly have a Stampin' Seal issue, please let me know, or let the demonstrator that you bought it from know, because Stampin' Up! Is good about that. They realize there is a little bit of a learning curve to our new adhesive. And if you're struggling, we want to help you when we want to make it right. So Okay, so let's get things straight here. So we've got our cable knit embossed piece glued down. We're also going to need one of our gold labels here. And then from our die cut pieces, we're going to need one of these longer rectangles. It's nice that they have the stitching on there. Kind of fancies it up a little bit. All right, so we need that piece. We need 2 of the flowers. So grab your die cut pieces here, and we're going to punch out 2 of the flowers. And then handy thing is they've instructed us 18 inches of ribbon. We're going to make like a little wreath. I call it a bird's nest, a wad of twine behind our flowers. And the handy thing, I don't know if you guys realize this, but on the inside of your paper pumpkin instructions, Stampin' Up! Has actually included a little ruler. So the width of your instructions are 9 inches. So for these cards, as a handy reference, go ahead and stretch your twine out. You need it once and then pull it again twice. All right, that gives you the 18 inches. So you could go ahead and cut 8 sections of 18-inch twine if you wanted, and you'd have enough for all your cards. But I thought I'd point that out, that that's a handy little thing that they have put in here. I'm actually going to go ahead and cut another piece. This will be for the second card here too. Might as well cut a bunch while we're at it. Okay. All right, so I've got my twine. I'm going to set that up there, and it does come in a handy little baggie, so if you want to keep it from unraveling. Okay, so what we're going to do here is essentially, I'm going to put dimensionals on everything. They gave us a full sheet of the full size dimensionals in here. So let's put a couple on our, we'll do like 3 on each of our flowers. Kind of spread them out a little bit. And then go ahead and we'll put 3 along here too. I like dimensionals. I put them on everything. Don't put any on your stitched rectangle yet because we need to stamp the words of that first. Okay. So what you're going to do is, before you stick anything down, actually, handy tip, take a little bit of your seal or your glue and just put a couple dabs right in the center of your embossed piece. This is all going to be covered by all these elements anyways, but that gives us something to stick our bird's nest or our twine. So I like to take this, just hold a section in your hand and then just wind it around a few times, kind of grab it there in the middle. So you've got a little bit of a wad, and then go ahead and kind of stick that down on that adhesive. It holds it in place, and then you can really kind of move it however you like, move it all around so that it sticks out behind your flowers and everything. Okay, you can kind of move it as we go, but at least that helps to keep it stuck. Does that make sense? Because otherwise it just kind of gets wound in your hand and it's hard to undo it. Okay, so let's put our flowers on. We're going to do these on opposites here, kind of, and I want to make sure I have a piece sticking kind of up to the right. So let's stick this up here. Make sure you're within the boundaries of your card. And then we'll put the other one opposite. Okay, and move these a little bit. See how by the time you put all your pretty elements on here, nobody's even gonna know that you had weird twine going on behind it. Okay, so you can move that all around as you please. Okay, then we've got our banner that we're going to stick across the center. There we go. However you like it, you can keep kind of moving it around if you want. There we go. Okay. And then on this, so with this one, you would use whatever sentiment you like, and they're instructing us to do that with the Just Jade ink. So let me grab my ink pad here. And like I said, I don't need a Christmas one, but I will use, I was thinking of using one of these, either the congratulations. I think I'll do congratulations. I actually have several kind of December, January anniversaries and things like that. And I think these cards will be nice for that too. Go ahead and ink that up. Very pretty. Okay. And then once you've got that done, go ahead and put your seal across the back, right down the center. And then we'll put that right on top. All right, so easy peasy. We've got our first card done. How did yours come out, Christy?
I have to stamp my little piece yet, but yes,
Okay.
I like it. I really do like it.
Yeah, I love those flowers. I think those are really pretty. And I like that they have the gold foil. Now, if I've heard a couple people say their gold foil elements are a little bit dusty. I did notice that taking out my kit, there is a little bit of, just a little bit of dust. You know, when we're dealing with paper, you have paper dust and things. So if that's the case, just take a soft cloth, like a microfiber cloth or something, and just brush your elements a little bit, and that will help remove some of that and brighten up your foil pieces if you need that. Okay, so that's the original card. Now this second card is, this one goes vertically. Okay, and this is a wreath card. So for this one, we'll need one of the longer, the rectangle cable knit embossed pieces. Try to move that so you guys can see what I know the lighting is, but it was so beautiful today. And all the doors and windows and everything open, but man, it gets dark early already. I was starting this at 6:30 and it got to be 6 o'clock and I'm like, what time is it? Am I late? I was worried. I was like, boy, it can't be, it's got to be later than it is, but I guess we are changing the clocks here in what, 2 weeks? So that makes sense.
Already.
Yeah. All right, so now we need our wreath for this, and it's cute. There is a little punch out of the center too. Okay, and for this one, we need one of the skinny rectangle pieces here. Okay. And then you'll need whatever greeting you like. On the instructions here, they've done a little sample of each, so you can see what it looks like with the peace, the joy, or the love. So whatever works for you. I think I saved, yes, I'm gonna do love on mine, but whatever greeting you prefer. And do be delicate. They are foil, but we do want to be a little bit gentle with these. Okay, so we've got our other 18-inch piece of twine. Okay, so we've got all our pieces here. With this one, we're actually going to wrap the twine around our rectangle piece first. So go ahead and kind of make it even, and then tie a knot there at the side. Okay. Oops, come on. Okay. So we'll do that. Go ahead and actually tie a knot in it so it's easier to maneuver so it doesn't keep moving on you. Okay, and you can still slide that around however you need to, but that does give us a little bit of movement. And I'm actually going to leave it just like that. I'm not going to tie my bow yet until I get my wreath on. So just kind of pull your twine over to the side and then go ahead and put your adhesive here on the back. Okay. All right. So once you've got your adhesive on, this will center in the card. And yes, you might notice it is a little bit longer than usual. That's okay. All right, we're going to take our wreath. Let's get our dimensionals out. Put some of those on here. Again, I like to do a little triad. So I put 3 on here. Space them out a bit. Okay. Oh, you know, I never stamped the leaves. Did you notice that, Christy? The wreath stamp actually is designed to stamp over these elements, and I forgot that part.
Okay.
All right. So if you don't have your dimension, if you already have your dimensionals, that's fine. Let me show you though on one of the other pieces that I haven't dimensionaled yet. Okay, so if you take
Can I do one?
Hi, Brady. Christy's got a helper. Okay. So if you
I want to be up a butt.
yeah, he's gonna help. All right. So if you ink up your wreath, now it's actually designed, it layers, it creates detail on here. So let's see here if you can see, I can't see between the camera and myself. So you can kind of rotate it a little bit because there are the little berries on there. And if you rotate it just right, you can space it out so that the berries are kind of, so they peek through. And then you can go ahead and do that. It's nice. It adds just a little bit of extra detail for you. So it would be smart to do that before you glued it down. Let me see. Let's see how badly I can do that just a little bit here. Oh, yep. See, that's why you want to make sure, don't put your adhesive on first. The good thing about these is they're photopolymer, so you can see it again. But all right, so I'm going to just put that one on the side. We'll use the good one. Put our dimensionals on it. All right, use our 3. And then we'll adhere our gold foil words with our with the glue dots that they gave us. Okay, so go ahead and put your wreath on here. It'll go over top. It kind of goes right in the center. Okay, and then we'll put our words on. But I'm going to flip it over, and then we'll use the little dots here. And I do like to use my snips so that I can place these on kind of on the widest parts of the words where they connect to each other here. And we'll put one on the L too. Okay, so if you do that and then gently peel off the little backings. Okay, so once you've got your glue dots on here, you can lay this across. You can always slide that down if you want to, just a little bit, so it's not peeking out behind your words. And then we'll stamp our sentiment on this little one. So there is a to you and yours, sending whatever you wish to put on here. Let's see here. I'm looking through. I do have some additional stamps that I have pulled out. Let's see what I want to stamp on here. This is cute. So this set is Forever Blossoms. This came out last spring, but I think I will use this little one here. It says, "All of me loves all of you." It's more of a personal anniversary card or something, or something you'd send to a loved one, but it fits perfectly on there. And again, I'm going to use my dimensionals. They're sized perfectly to fit on here. This one's small enough. We just need 2. Okay, and then this kind of tucks. You can tuck it under if you like, or just overlap it a little bit. And then once everything's in place, then you can take the ends of your twine and tie your bow. And that way, you know, if you want to trim it down or straighten it out a little bit. Now you've got enough, you can pull it tight. I think I'm going to trim this just a little bit. Okay, so it's not quite so long. All right, how are you doing, Christy? How did yours come out? Oh, she's working on her wreaths. Okay. All right, pretty. And if you have trouble, if your bow keeps moving around on you, you can always take a glue dot here to peel the top off, but you can stick that right underneath and then just move that backing off it. Okay, take off the wax piece and stick the glue dot down. There we go. And place that right underneath your bow, and that'll help keep it in place. Okay, that's cute. All right, so those are the 2 cards as directed, okay, as indicated by the kit. But I've got some fun samples for you. Let me just clean my stamps real quick here. My stamp and scrub, or if you've got the chamois, whatever you've got, just want to make sure you clean your stamps as you go, so they don't stain. Okay. Okay, so we got those. All right, so if it's okay, Christy, I'm gonna keep going. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's fine. Definitely.
Okay, so we've got these. Now, actually, Stampin' Up! Always gives us a few alternates on the back side of the instructions. So
yeah,
I'm going to show you, I thought a couple of these were kind of cute. So 2 of the samples are going to come from the photos on the back. So I'm going to just move these off to the side, and that way you can still see them. All right, so the first sample that they gave us here it pulls in some Just Jade cardstock. So this is not included in the kit, but it matches the in color that they gave us. So we've got some Just Jade, a half sheet that's 5.5 by 8.5. And we will go ahead and just fold that. And then we have, so I measured these against the longest piece of the embossed. So I cut a piece of plain Whisper White so that we could stamp on it. But that's where I got my measurement from. So I've got two pieces the same, a piece of soft sea foam and a piece of Whisper White. And these are both 3 inches by 4.25. And for these, we're just going to stick the soft sea foam down first. And we're going to offset that a little bit. So turn it at a bit of an angle. Okay. And then on the Whisper White piece, we're actually going to stamp our wreath. So we'll stamp this, or you could use, actually, we've got lots of extra wreath pieces because I've used a bunch of the flowers, but we've got the wreath. So grab your wreath piece here and your ink spot, and we're going to make sure we're going to do this right this time. Actually going to stamp our wreath before we dimensional it. And just turn this. Okay. Okay, so we've got our wreath there. And we can go ahead and dimensional this. Okay, so actually I am going to use the embossed piece here instead, since I'm not stamping on that. So we'll tape our embossed, the long rectangle piece. Tape this down first, but this time we're going to put this one on straight. So the soft seafoam piece peeks out from behind. Then we'll put our wreath on. And put that right about the center. Okay, grab some words, whatever you would like. Let's see what I've got left. Trying to decide what I want here. I'm not sure. I'm going to put my words on later. So you can decide.
The other one.
Oh, that's pretty, Christy. I like that. I'll have to have you post those in our group too.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't need a full 18 inches for just doing a little bow on this one. So I'm going to cut that in half and just make a little bow here. Tie a knot. Kind of adjust it a little bit. And then I'm going to use one of these glue dots. I'm going to place it kind of here at the base of my wreath. Okay, take the backing off and then just stick that right to it. Okay, and then you can trim this down as you need it. Okay, so that's pretty simple there. Okay, so that's one of the samples, like on the back of the card or on the back of your instructions. All right, then the other one I thought was really neat was they had the one with kind of the love.
The ornament one is really cute.
Isn't that neat? Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the red one here. All right, so this one you're going to need your flower stamp for. I pulled in a piece of Cherry Cobbler cardstock, just a half sheet, again 5.5 by 8.5, and we'll fold this one. Okay, so we're going to use the flower stamp It's really pretty. And you can use the Just Jade, but I am going to pull in some cherry cobbler ink just so it matches just a little bit better here. Okay. So the way they have done this is they've just kind of had us stamp all over, create a little bit of a background. Their flowers. So we're gonna stamp it here, stamp it about 4 times, just so it has something to kind of peek through a little bit, kind of frame it out. Which that is really pretty once you've got it stamped. It's nice. I like that. All right, so I am gonna clean. The red does stain a little bit. The reds and purples stain a little bit more than the other colors, so you do want to clean that fairly quickly. Okay, so then I've cut a piece. This is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. So 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. And again, it helps if you've got some kind of scrap. Use the inside of your instructions or a piece of scrap paper or something. And we're going to stamp all over this. So we're going to do all kinds of little flowers on this piece. So just kind of randomly stamp these. Kind of go all over. Okay, so that's quite pretty.
It is pretty. I like that.
Pretty. So you could leave it just like that, and that looks really pretty. Or if you wanted to, you could pull in some blends and go ahead and color that if you'd like. For right now, I didn't grab my blends all out, but I'm gonna just take this and go ahead and adhere this to your card base. Okay, so we're gluing this flat, so it would be fairly easy to come in afterwards and color this a little bit more if you'd like. Okay. So for this sample, it does have us die cutting some vellum. So you need vellum cardstock, and the dies they use are the heart dies. These are the Be Mine stitched framelits. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a little adhesive across the width of the heart. And then I know that does kind of peek through just a little bit, but that will be hidden by our gold foil words. So that just kind of overlaps. And then you can use your little glue dots to hold the frame in place. So when you cut this particular die, this is the largest of the Be Mine stitch dies. And the way it does, it cuts out the inside and then it cuts out the stitched scalloped frame. So it actually does it in 2 pieces. So I'll go ahead and put a few glue dots around the edges of this to hold it in place a little bit. Okay. Get these little backings off of there. Okay. So then this sticks down over the top here as just a little bit of fun detail. Now I've pulled in the Amour. Again, you can use whatever, but this is kind of a romantic card. So we'll put our little glue dots on here as well. Kind of space them out so they go on the wider parts of the letters. Okay, so we've got, let's put another one on here. I missed one on the M there. Okay. Get those little backings off. I was using my snips, but if you've got fingernails, then that works too. Okay. All right, so we'll place this across our heart. That helps hide some of that adhesive, although it doesn't really seem to be showing through too bad. So that's good there. And then just another, I don't need a whole 18 inches, so that other 9 inches of twine that I had, we'll make a little bow here. Okay. And then take a glue dot. Let's put this over here by the A, just a little bit. All right, take off the backing. We can stick this down and then trim it if you'd like. There we go. And the sample, they actually used just a itty bitty little piece. This is not even, I have a 1/2 inch piece, but you could go even smaller. And then use the, you could do sending love, or, but this way they use the to you and yours. So we'll ink that up, and then we can just trim it off because we only want the to you. We don't need to you and yours no more. All right, and then just take your snips, just like that. And we'll put one little dimensional on the back. Oops. Make sure we put it right side up. Isn't that cute? So now you have a little love note.
I like that. That's very cute.
Yeah, it's pretty, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
So not too many extras. So these are asking that you pull in a little bit of colored cardstock, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, so it is kind of fun. It makes your kit, it stretches it a little bit further there. Okay, so let's keep going. I got a whole bunch of samples to keep going with here. All right, so all right, I just have a little bit of a pile, so we'll just go with what I've got on top. So for this particular card, the other set of dies, so we used the beamline stitch dies on 2 of those. My other must-have, so a good word set, a good variety of sentiments. But this, if you've stepped up to die cutting, the stitched shapes dies have the circles, the ovals, and the squares. So you get all 3 shapes. You actually get 12 dies. You get 4 of each shape. I've got the circles, the other 2 circles here. I absolutely love this set. So I use this on pretty much everything because it's a nice set of basic shapes. So we've taken our card base here. And then what I did is took the largest stitch shape, I ran it through my machine, and that cut out the center. So what happens when you then fold this, so we'll go ahead and you have to run it through your machine open because you don't want to cut through your whole card. You just want to cut through this top layer. So go ahead and fold the rest of it there. And then what you can do is we're going to glue this back on the inside, but then it'll be like a peekaboo card. Okay, so we're going to put adhesive on this piece, stick it back through the window, kind of line it up so that it matches. Let's see what happens. Isn't that cool? All right, so then we took I took one of the square embossed pieces from the kit and I cut out a smaller circle and I cut out another heart from the Be Mine stitched hearts there. So we'll take this piece out. We're going to glue this on top of the center one. So you've got kind of a neat frame peeking out. And then we'll take our love. So I've used the love. I used one of them on here and I've got one saved for another card. So I'm going to use the German word for love. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it. But we're going to take that and I'm going to stick this on our peekaboo element there. Okay, I'm going to make sure these stay. Okay, so this is going to go right across the front. Isn't that cute? Sticks in there. I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of my heart. I'll put this on the outside, so that's all on the inside. We're gonna put this cute little heart over here, kind of overlapping on the outside. And then I've got cut just a couple little skinny pieces of crumb cake cardstock here. And we're gonna do this thing again, the to you and yours that we had there. And actually I have some friends that speak German, so this would be cute. I could send this to them for their anniversary and they'd get a kick out of that. All right. So I'm gonna trim this off. I'm gonna trim, if you take your dimensionals and you cut them in half, that works for some of these skinnier pieces that you might have. And I'm gonna put that on the heart. And then I'm gonna take the other stamp. There's a sending in here. So sending love to you is what we're gonna end up with. All right, so let me take this one off. Put the sending on. Okay. And then trim this. I'll use that other half a dimensional that I had here. And this again sticks to the outside. So isn't that cute? Sending love to you. And then when they open it, they've got the decoration on the inside. That's kind of fun. It's completely different, but I loved that idea. Okay.
I like that one too.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
I love, they're so different.
They are.
So you can see how you're starting to use them for many different occasions. All right, let me clean that stamp too. Okay, so I got a few more up my sleeve here. Okay. All right, so this one is super simple. This one, again, takes the vertical card. We're just gonna go ahead and fold that in half. This time I used my stitched rectangles and I made a little frame. So I'm gonna put my frame on here. I'm actually gonna turn it so that it goes horizontally. So I use my dimensionals here. So since I'm using, this is kind of a larger frame, I am going to put dimensionals in that space in between here. Okay. Okay, so on this one, we'll just dimensional our frame, center it right on here, and then take one of your gold words. In this case, I'm using a more because it's a little bit longer. Put our little glue dots on here and stick that in the center. So super quick and easy, just a fun gold frame for our words here. Let's see. Okay, lots of these little glue dots today. I'm gonna find them stuck to my socks probably because they slide off my table. I found little dimensional and little backings in the bathroom before, and I'm like, man, how did that get there? But yep, must have been stuck to my socks. Okay, so I'll pull this one up. And okay, stuck to my finger. I don't want to stretch out the shape. So quick and simple. Isn't that cute? You could always dress that up if you've got an extra flower. That would be kind of cute too. We could just put the little flower down here. What do you think, Christy? Do you like it with the flower or without?
I think I like it without. Nice and simple. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that. Okay. So we like quick and easy. So we'll do that one. Okay, what do I have next? All right, same card base here. So we'll go ahead and fold this one. Okay, so on this one, playing with some gold foil again. So again with my so the inside of this piece that I die cut, it gave me a full-size rectangle. And because I'm gonna layer this behind, I went ahead and die cut it with my stitch circle too. So I can save that for another card at some point. So this was the piece that came out of there. And I'm going to use that on this one. So just go ahead and stick this down. That's a great way to conserve paper, no matter what you're making. If you're going to layer something behind, actually on my from the Heart Friday video that I did this afternoon, I didn't think about it until afterwards. I had made a card and I was like, oh, I should have die cut the center, and then I could have saved that for something else. So I've got my gold rectangle here. And then I cut a piece of Just Jade that's going to layer over the top. So this piece of Just Jade is 2 3/4 by 4. So 2 3/4 by 4. And this is going to layer right on top of that gold rectangle and hide the hole. That's going to hide my space there in the middle. And we still have that nice gold frame sticking out from behind. All right. Now, what I did is we have these really cool gold foil specialty elements. They match the Forever Fern suite, but there's some really neat, I know it's glaring with the light, but there's some really cool gold die cuts in here. It's a pretty good value. You get like frames already cut. You get all these fun elements, leaves and wreaths and things like that. So I took one of these and we're going to layer this. I'm going to put adhesive right here in the center. Makes a nice shiny element here. Just put that right in the middle. And then put a couple dimensionals on one of these pretty flowers. And then we've got another fun card that can be used for any occasion. Isn't that pretty?
I think that's my favorite one so far. I really like that one.
Yeah, I love it. It was neat. And the nice thing is you don't even have to like, it doesn't matter if you have a big shot or you don't have to spend time die cutting, because all of these gold foil elements here are already, you just pop them out.
Yeah,
So
really like that.
that's really handy. Okay, so that's another simple one. All right, let's see. Next on my list here, again, I used the other half sheet of cherry cobbler. And what am I doing on this one? Let's see. I don't remember. I have all these ideas in my head and I cut faces and I'm like, okay, now what am I doing? All right, so I got a cherry cobbler card base. And then what I did was I took one of the cards here and I cut it in half, and then I die cut with my stitch shape. So I got a circle for one, I got a square for the next card I'm going to show you. I trimmed the bottom off the solid crumb cake backing, and we're going to use that for a greeting. So I totally used all of the pieces on here. And then this backing I cut to size. I cut to 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to layer that on here. Okay, so nothing going to waste. So this layer is right on top. Okay, then I'm going to take my stitched circle that I've got here, and we're going to put this. All right, I'm going to turn it here so that it goes kind of somewhat in the, I guess I'm going to just kind of stick it towards the center. And then since we've got so many flower elements in the kit, I'm going to take 3 of my flower elements. I know this card is going to have a lot of flower power. Put our dimensionals on these. So I can peel them all off. Okay, and then start to layer them. So I'm going to put the first one on, and then we'll tuck the other, kind of overlap them a little bit, stick them out behind, and a little bit coming up over the top. Again, kind of have to make sure that we're stuck within the card. And then with that, we'll take one of our gold elements here to put our greeting on. So this is where one of my loves came from. So I'll take these. Sorry, you guys hear my husband going in and out. He's getting the grill ready. And then goes right across. Isn't that cute? Another fun, simple one.
Another good one.
Uses lots of the flowers on this one. Okay, so I have a couple left. I know we're making a whole bunch here. Okay, so this next one, like I said, I had trimmed off this, so I've got a strip for some words here. Okay, so this particular card, we're going to go ahead and fold this. This is another, I'm going to make it horizontal. I'm going to stamp on my wreath here. So let me get my Just Jade ink back. So we're going to use both the wreath and the flower on this card. Okay. Hey, I did that one pretty good. I just lined up the hole. That seemed to work the best. Okay, so I'm gonna glue the wreath flat this time. So I'm gonna just put a little bit of adhesive on it. Yep, Ziggy smells dinner. All right, so this is going to go towards the center. Then we'll put on one of the gold die cuts here. This is also going to just glue straight down, make a cute little banner that kind of goes across it. Okay. Then I've cut another little piece. I need to trim this down. So I've pulled in, this is the 6-in-1 banner punch that's in the mini catalog here. So I'm going to just slide this right in, look to the back, make sure I've got it in here square. Okay. So, yep. All right. So that looks like that fits. I want to pull it back just a little bit. All right. So now I can kind of see where I want to stamp my greeting. So since I've got my congratulations handy, I guess I'll use that one. You could use Just Jade or Cherry Cobbler. I've got this handy. So stamp my sentiment on here. Okay, now we can put our adhesive on it. Okay, so layer that just a little bit. Then put our flower on. And actually, if you want to take another little piece of ribbon here, go ahead and put just a little bit of adhesive right here at the end of your banner. And then you can stick your twine down. Whoop, hold it in place, and then your flower will hold it where you want it here. Oops, let's make it go right side up. Okay. So that's kind of a neat way. I could have moved it over just a little bit, but kind of a neat way to incorporate both the flower and the wreath on the same card. And this uses only the elements from the kit, so you don't have to pull in anything extra on that one. Okay, final two. All right, using one more from the kit here, we'll go ahead and fold this. And then on this piece, I'm going to take one of the square cable knit embossed pieces. So again, this came in the kit. So we'll put our adhesive on here. I'm going to angle it a little bit. So instead of putting it straight on, we're going to turn it again. And then from that Just Jade cardstock that I pulled in before, I brought in the jar punch. So if you have the flowers for every season and the little jar that matches that, I die cut the jar out of the Just Jade. So I am going to dimensional this, and then we'll put a flower. So we're going to make just a little cute bouquet. Isn't that fun? And then we'll use the twine to wrap around the jar. So you can tie that around the mouth of the jar. Okay, go ahead and knot that first, because then once it's knotted, it's much easier to tie your bow. All right, and then This one side is a little bit lopsided, a little long. There we go. Okay, so we'll put a couple dimensionals on the back of our jar here. Let's go ahead and put 3. And we'll put 3 on our flower. Take those off. Okay. And let's see, we'll put this down just a little bit here. And then our flower, pull up your ribbon just so it kind of overlaps a little bit. Isn't that cute? I love that. And you could put some of your words if you've got whatever you've got left over, you could put that across the bottom on here. But I just thought that was really cute, putting that in the jar, and then you've got a fun little bouquet. And
I like it the way it is.
Yeah, isn't that, because then you could use it for anything, any season. But I love that. I liked incorporating the little jar, and that was so easy because you just punch it right out and it's good to go. Okay, so the last one here, using some more cherry cobbler, 5.5 by 8.5. My husband's trying to be quiet, but he's not really. All right, so we've got some cherry cobbler, 5.5 by 8.5. All right, this is where I'm pulling in. I told you I had die cut a square from the other piece. So that's what I'm incorporating on this last card. I did pull in a little bit more gold foil. So, and I cut this to 3 by 3. So I'm going to layer this first on here. And then we'll use our fun square and just offset that just a little bit, kind of put it down here towards the corner. Okay. Then we're going to pull in one of our die cut labels. So we'll go ahead and put dimensionals on that. Kind of building all the elements on the base again. So let's put that right here. Okay, so then we've got one of our tags. So you could stamp this if you wanted to. I'm going to use one of my last love from the kit, my little German love here. So I'm going to put my stickies on this. Okay, one more here. So I'm going to mount this right in the center, and then put my adhesive on the back. Okay, straight down. Okay, so center that, and then we'll add in our pretty flower. Amazingly, I've still got a flower or 2 left over from this kit with all the flowers I've been using. All right, so we'll put our flowers here. And then if you want, since we've been die cutting and I had my hearts and all of that, I've got a little gold foil heart, also from the Be Mine stitched hearts. I'm gonna put that over here. And we've got a whole bunch of twine left. Again, I don't need a full 18-inch piece, so I'm gonna just cut this in half. Do a little bow. Okay, trim that down just a little bit. And I'm going to put this on my heart. Okay, my pieces are, I've got all the pieces, so it's hard to see through there. Okay, get one that's actually got the glue dot on it. So put the little dot here on my heart. And then stick my bow. And then trim those off. Isn't that cute? Another kind of fun idea for all of these. So totally transformed this kind of holiday kit into something for all seasons. Yeah. Good. All right, so I will take pictures of these and I'll post them in my Facebook group, but just for purposes here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Made 11 cards tonight out of this kit. And I've still got die cuts and some flowers and a whole bunch of embossed pieces left over. So I'm pretty pleased. I think we definitely got our value, got our money's worth out of this kit. So, yeah.
I'm amazed you still have flowers left.
I know, I've got one right here. And I've got, yeah, so I've got a flower left. I've got a whole bunch of die cut word rectangles. I still have twine left, which is amazing.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes.
Still got twine. I still have got 1, 2. I still got 3 embossed pieces there.
Word.
So flower and 1 wreath. Well, I would have 2 wreaths, but I messed up 1. So they give you a little wiggle room there. And then, yeah, still have my dimensionals. So I've got a lot of pieces out of this, which is really cool. Oh, and the part I was gonna say, if you so if you take this word here, Freud, I don't know how to say that, but you've got the FR on here. So if you wanted to make friend, you could cut this out and do the FR. And that's the nice thing about the glue dots too. So you can take your, oh, come on here. Take your FR. And then if you had the, well, if you had the germ, if you had the leaf here, so you could do FR, cut out the IE, and then take the rest and then take the ND from that word. Does that make sense? That you could then build and have,
Yeah.
or you could take an I. So I'm missing an I. Let's see. Let's take this one from the piece. So I could take that for IEND here. Cut the last little E off the end. FRIEND. And then there's a few with all the little eyes. Then I still got the little dot for your eye. So you could build some additional words too. And then you'll have even more. So lots of combinations here. It's kind of like a word scramble. Yeah, so I like that. I think that's pretty cute. And so I don't know if you got all 8 cards done traditionally, or if you might branch out a little bit, Christy, but
Yeah. I think I might branch out and use some of the other ideas. I just made the 2 and then I've been watching you. So I just have, the first ones that you did. But yeah.
Well, I know you like to get together with your mom and your sisters and you guys kind of do some crafting. So yeah, do some fun ideas there. So yeah, so I've heard a few people say, well, I don't speak German or French, or I've got all these words in here, but I hope this shows to everybody that's watching that it's kind of fun. It gives you a way to kind of stretch your creativity and use these in all kinds of different ways. So it's kind of exciting that they gave us all of these fun possibilities. So yeah, well, thank you for joining me. I know we've been stamping for almost an hour and a half, so I probably ought to let you get back to your families. My husband's got dinner ready, which is awesome. So yeah, well, thank you for joining me, and thank you for stamping along, and we will see you soon.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good. I'll see
Have
you
a
next
wonderful
time.
night. All right, sounds great. All right.
Bye.
Bye.